look at that. I'm done with my meeting. Welcome back to the Mid-Atlantic Mauling League Spike Magazine Trophy. We have our second game of the evening tonight. Let me get rid of this text. There we go. We've got our second game of the evening coming up tonight, and it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be Odin, it's Nuffle versus Remnants of Valor. Clypheus versus S. Beaver. Norse versus Humans. All right, this game has been scheduled to start a couple of minutes ago, so let's just head on over to the game. We'll talk pre-game while the game begins. I did not get my hot pocket. It was actually a very, it wasn't the best meeting, but it needed to happen. So anyway, take 5, please. What does that mean? Like you need time to start? I don't know what's going on right now. Game's not started yet. We'll see if what meetings are good meetings though. That's a fair point. It's a very fair point. I'm gonna needed a second for a personal thing. All right, that's fine. Just let me know when you guys are ready to go, and we'll keep going like nothing's wrong. Second No Sleep, welcome to the stream. Congratulations on your win, by the way. I was watching it while I was in my meeting. Cuts at the company, they're gonna have to go with filled sandwiches. Oh no! All right, in Division A, currently in first place is James Like Snacks and the World of Cheese. They're a Delvin Union team. They're 1-0-0. The Wasabazons won their game just a few minutes ago. They are in second place. They're also 1-0-0, and in third place, tied for third place, in fact, is Festoon's MAML Nightmare and Tizzle Bizzle's Tizork Savage Boys, a Necromantic Horror and Orc team, respectively. They have 1 point each. In Division A, currently in first place with their win earlier tonight, is the Discomancers, coached by Ian, their Necromantic Horror team. And in Division C, we have a winner with the Fishy Fiends defeating Demos. They're in first place. Ajax, by the way, I validated your game, so you're good to go, by the way. They won their game, their week 1 game. They're currently in first place here in Division C. I am not ready. Let's see. Where are we? Are we in Division B? I think we're in Division B. Did I guess right? Oh, I did. Here in Division B, the home team tonight's going to be Odin and Nuffle. They're coming in a TV of 1,360,000 gold. 14 players on this roster. They have the big guy, the Yeti. They have 2 Wolf Wearers. Those are the strength 4 pieces. 2 Valkyries, 2 Beer Boars, and a bunch of linemen. 1 Apothecary, 5 dedicated fans, and 3 rerolls. They're going to be up against the Humans of the Remnants of Valor, coached by S. Beaver. They have a TV of... I don't know if I got those numbers right, but I think I did. TV of 960,000 gold. I think that means one thing tonight. I think we'll see a morgue. I think we'll see a morgue. Got the Ogre, the big guy on the roster, has a thrower as well, 4 blitzers and a bunch of linemen. No catchers on this roster. Clypheus says, is Morgue 400k? Morgue is 380k, sir. 5 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls. How are these two teams gonna play tonight? We've got the home team, the Norse team. This is a very tricky team to coach, in my opinion. You can see lots of block, lots of frenzy. Decent speed, but they're pretty frail here. Most of these players have an AV of 8+. The Beer Boars, of course, are super weak and very, very fragile, but they're great for getting those assists. Clypheus says, so I need to go sell 30k worth of players to ruin SP Beaver's day. I think that would be in poor sporting behavior. As B.1234 says, AV stands for armor value here. These 5 stats here, these are the stats that all players have. MA stands for movement allowance. These are how many points each of these players can move, or how many spaces each player can move on a turn. SC stands for strength. You compare strength when taking a block. If you're stronger than your opponent, you get more dice on a block, which is good for you. AG stands for agility. This is what most of your die rolls. This is the standard D6 die roll with the pips on it. This is for dodging and catching and throwing. Well, not for throwing anymore, I should say, because that's what this PA value is. This is new to the BB 2020 version of the rules. This is your is it passing allowance? I don't know what the A is. But this, you use this number for throwing the ball, and AV is armor value. If you ever get knocked down, you roll 2d6, and if you meet or beat this number, then your armor is broken and you're in danger of being injured. So this is a very, very fragile team. It's very badgy, very bashy, very fragile. They want to hit, but they don't want to get hit. And that has made all the more annoying with all this frenzy, right? Frenzy, great for making blocks, right? You want to use frenzy, get more dice, get those hits, but then you have to follow up. And now, now you're in range of somebody throwing dice back at you, and then you start to lose players. A human team, on the other hand, is a jack of all trades, master of none. They are my favorite team in the game of Blood Bowl. We'll talk about them more as this game begins. Human teams can do everything. They have an answer to every other faction in the game of Blood Bowl. The problem with them, in my opinion, is that as team value increases, the humans, how good the humans are at generalization doesn't really keep pace with how good the other teams are at specializations. So the specialization teams tend to outpace the humans as team value increases, but I don't think that makes them bad. They're a team that's best at low TV. The White Dwarf himself coaching both teams tonight. Clear skies for this game. SB Viewer says, I think I'm just getting a bunch of cheerleaders. Who needs Morg? So enough money in petty cash here for the Remnants of Valor to pick up Morgenthorg. I have to imagine that's what's going to happen. Morgenthorg, I think if you can afford Morg, you take Morg. What? Nah, I don't believe this. I don't believe, you can't fool me. Get out of town. Griff's a great pickup for 280 as well, but you can see Morgenthorg for 380, strength 6, decent speed, MA 6, decent agility, decent passing, normal AV, but has block, has mighty blow, can throw teammate if you have a halfling on the roster, which S. Bieber does not. Also is the ballista. Once per game, he can re-roll a failed passing test on a pass or a throw teammate action. You're not going to see that in effect really tonight with no halfling on the roster. But a great piece. This is not Mighty Blow +1 either. Yeah, right. Ajax is right. This is Mighty Blow +2. You get a +2 to your armor or injury roll, whichever you need it for. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, Carla and Buggy, obviously the right call. Carla Von Kill. Remnants of Valor are going to win the coin toss here. Are they going to start on offense or defense? I think they might start on defense. No, they're going to start on offense. They want to control the momentum in this game. Clear skies for game number 2 here this evening. 2 blue teams. If this doesn't work out for anyone, let me know, and I'll turn on blue and red jerseys. Defense currently in the Cups formation. Oh, and it's Nuffle. Currently with 2 on the line. They have to put at least 3 on the line if you're new to Blood Bowl. A legal formation before the kickoff. These 7 spaces here, you see that 3+ over here? That 3+ means that you have to put at least 3 players in these 7 spaces. 2- means you can put a maximum of 2 pieces in these large rectangles, the wide zones here. Everything else is fair game. Something to keep in mind in this game is if you have a kicker, the kicker cannot go. Well, the kicker can go in these spaces, but if the kicker goes in these, if you set up a kicker in these spaces, he can't actually kick. The kicker has to go somewhere here in order to be able to kick the ball. Mr. Rocker Crocker is never going to be able to tell Morgan the Yeti apart with both in blue. They do look very similar. How are you drawing the line so straight? Yeah, yeah, so straight. 3 on the line for the defense here, giving up the wide zones. Realizing that this human team doesn't have any catchers. So these human teams, what they have available, they have a big guy in this ogre. So you can see, that's Morgan not that ogre. This ogre, Grendel's mom. MA5, strength of 5, edge 4+, passing 5+, AV of 10+. They have Mighty Blow, of course, and Thick Skulls. They are boneheaded, so before they action, they roll a d6. If they roll a 1 on that d6, they lose their action and their tackle zones until they pass that roll on a future turn. That's the big guy available on the roster. You can pick up, I think, the most important pieces on a human team are these blitzers. You can field 4 of them, and they are fantastic. They have the block skill being blitzers, of course. Strength 3 is average. AB 9 is average. AG 3+ is average. PA 4+ is average. MA 7 is not average. It's pretty good, and you can have 4 of them, and they're not super expensive. So these are great pieces on a roster. The linemen are fine, right? The linemen are absolutely fine with an MA 6, strength of 3, ag of 3+, AV 9+. They're not too expensive. They're fine. They have access to all the skills you want. You can pick up block on them as first thing. You can kind of kit them out however you want. You do have a thrower here. The thrower, of course, with the PA2+, sure hands, and the throw skill. You can pick up halfling, which generally you pick up the halfling as a cheap fouler or a cheap assist player, or really you want to do the 1 turn, or you want to do the throw teammate toss with the ogre. And you can also pick up catchers. There are no catchers on the roster here. They're the most expensive players on the roster. You can have 4 of them. We saw Wenger field 4 catchers with their human team. They are very fast. They have catch. They have dodge. They have an MA of 8, only a strength of 2. They're very, very good. MA 8 is fantastic. You can do a lot with them. So you have a lot of options with your positionals on a human team. They can really do a lot. You can be the speedy team when you're up against a slow team. You can be a bashy team when you're up against the weak team. You really can do a lot with a human team. That's why I like them. The problem with human team, and I am not, don't watch my, well, I don't do them, but don't watch my games if you want to learn how to be effective as a human. The problem with humans, of course, is that in order to be effective, you've basically got to be a good coach with all the other teams, right? You have to know what another team wants to do, and you have to play to their weaknesses. You have to understand how they work and how you can leverage your human team against their to capitalize on their weaknesses in order to win the ball game. All right, turn 1 here for the Remnants of Valor. 3 rerolls for each coach. Ava's a total failure for the humans. I am. I love them. I like. What are the words I'm looking for? Like characters or teams or options or selections that give you lots of options. So like my favorite fighting game archetype, if you don't know fighting games, just bear with me. I'm not going to explain it, but well, I will explain it. Are the zoners, which have largely gone away in modern fighting games, much to my chagrin is the word I was looking for. But a zoner is a type of character. So like Ryu in Street Fighter, in old Street Fighter anyway, is a zoner, right? He's a character that, sure, if you're in their face, you have some options, and if you're at a distance, you have some options. But really, Ryu wants to be at a very specific distance from his opponent. And if he has every tool available to just keep you out and keep hitting you. But if you get in on him, if it's too close, he's weak. And if you're too far, he's weak. So he wants to be in a very specific zone. I like teams or player or characters and stuff that kind of give you that option, right? That I can do it all, just provided, I'm within the specification of the team. That's generally how they balance something like that. It's like they're really good, but only in this very narrow, usage. Good handoff to the thrower here. Protecting the ball right behind the ogre. Good armor break on the left defensive end. Alt Crud gets knocked down. Remember, all these linemen have an AV of 8+. Something we didn't talk about with the Norse linemen, they're also all drunkards. So they all rush Fail a rush on a 1 or a 2, so they won't be rushing a whole lot. AV8, oh, AV7 with the Ogre there. Another stun here. 2 armor breaks. 2 blocks, 2 armor breaks. Turn 1 now for Odin and Snuffle. So Remnants of Valor here trying to keep their offense a little wide here, a little spread out. They've got the ball. You'll typically see a human team. He has no catchers. I'll try to keep my bias out of this, but I think it's a little difficult with no catchers. When you have a catcher, you can really threaten both the running game and the passing game, and you can force the defense to really spread out. And then you can lean into the running game and open up the hole. And if that doesn't work out, you've always got the passing game to fall back on. He doesn't have a passer, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have he doesn't have the catchers, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have the passing game, right? He still has the thrower, which is very important. Again, sure hands for the ball pickup, a free reroll on the passes, has a pass of 2+. That's great. These blitzers, they are an MA of 7. These are great receivers. Even a lineman could be a receiver with an MA of 6 in a pinch. So there's still a viable passing game here with this human team. What he's going to be looking to do against this Norse team is he's going to be looking to be a little more of the bashy team. Needs to play. Actually, I think the human team needs to play a little more of a control game here. He wants to go in, get those key blitzes where he goes in on a target that he knows he'll be able to remove. Maybe the most important target that he can remove on a turn. In other words, meaning if he has an option between like a really good piece that he's probably not going to remove and maybe a less good piece that he has much more of a probability to remove, he's going to go after the piece that he has a higher probability to remove. But while he's doing that, he's going to be trying to carve out pieces of the pitch for himself. So he's going to be trying to control, like, as it stands right here, you can see what he's trying to do is he's trying to control center pitch right here. So he's going to try to control center pitch and take his blocks and start pushing the defense back. And you're going to see this all game long. He's going to try to control pieces of the pitch, probably start to try to carve out a wide zone, and start moving the ball that way if he can't get the player advantage. But the problem with this is that he's up against Clypheus. Clypheus is a known control coach. So Clypheus' strength is in pitch control. He knows exactly how to position his pieces and how to take field, take pitch away from you. Why are these lines like this? What is happening? Is this a new graphic? Like these... Whatever, it's fine. He knows how to take field away from you. So SBeaver needs to be a little mindful of that as he starts marching down the pitch here. They made the grid customizable. What does that mean? You can adjust the grid line thickness. Is that in like settings? Black Wolf rooting for this human offense. All right, I'll have to check that out. Thank you guys for letting me know. Minute 15 left to go here in turn number 2. Thank you very much. Settings readability. I'll check it out. Who doesn't want some big black grid lines? I mean, it's cool. I just want to see what my options are. Black Wolf rooting for SBeaver here. Taking a mark on the Ulfwerener over on the left side of the pitch here. These Ulfwereners are a strength of 4. So right now, those are 2 assists. Looks like he's going to blitz with Unferno, the number 5 blitzer. No blitz. He's going to take the blitz with the Ogre. 3-die blitz with the Ogre. He's going to get the knockdown thanks to the block skill. 8+ breaks armor. Doesn't get it. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not the Ogre. Excuse me, that's Morgenthor, who's still an Ogre. So that wasn't 8+, that was 7+ with Mighty Blow +2. You know what actually is terrible? The light blue here. The light blue matches the opposing team. I think I'm going to turn it on red and blue. I'm sorry. Remnants of Valor, you're now red. Failed the boneheaded roll with Grendel's mom here. I was just about to talk about this. So something you have to figure out with big guys is when to activate them and when not to. So by losing the tackle zones here, because if you fail this boneheaded roll, you lose your activation, but you also lose your tackle zones. And if that Ogre is holding down, If he's anchoring your formation and you lose your tackle zones, your whole formation could crumble. So sometimes, in fact, I would say often, it's best to not roll dice with the Ogre and keep that big strength 5 anchor on the pitch, exerting tackle zones. Well, his uniform changed color. Who wouldn't be confused? Yeah, I'm sorry, Grendel's mom. That's on me. that's definitely on me. Turn 2, back to Odin. It's Nuffle. Oh, I have so much work to do. I have so much work to do for like the foreseeable future. Beerboar takes a mark on number 7 behind the offense. So the defense here trying to cut off the right side here. We talked about control. So they're you can see, let's map out the tackle zones here, right? You can see where the tackle zones lie. So he's carving out all this pitch. He's saying, you are not allowed to move here. This is my field. Three die blitz with Sheppy the Yeti. Gets a pow on Wealthio. Boy, 8+ breaks armor, but doesn't get it. 10 seconds on the clock here for Odin and Nuffle. Repositions the Yeti back with the rest of the linebackers here. The Yeti has Claw, which treats everybody's AV as an 8+. Also has Frenzy. Has to follow up on the blocks. Has to take a second block if the first one results in a push. Turn 3, back to the Remnants of Valor. One thing I'm disappointed about with the Switch 2. I was talking about the Switch 2 in the earlier game, but I was hoping there would be upgrades for certain Nintendo games that just don't exist yet. I am sure they're coming, but one in particular is an RPG called Xenoblade Chronicles, or just Xenoblade. A new game came out, Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I thought for sure that would have a day one Switch 2 like 60 frames per second upgrade or something, but alas, it doesn't. The Zelda games do, but Xenoblade doesn't. Not a whole lot of action here with the human team. 45 seconds to go in turn number 3. 2-die block. Now we're getting things started with a push here against Alt Clud, the number 6 level 2 lineman. Picked up the Fend skill. You can see Fen here with that. Where did he go? What Fen means is that if you block him, you can't follow up. Well, you can't follow up if Fend is used. Most skills in Blood Bowl are optional. Certain ones like Frenzy are not. Just 11 seconds on the clock here. 3-die blitz against the poor Beerboar. Breaks. Oh, boo! Boo! Injures the Beerboar. Who does that? He wants to bring nothing but joy and happiness. And you've taken him off the pitch. Beerboars also have Pick Me Up, which means at the beginning of your turn or at the end of your opponent's turn, you roll a d6 for every prone friendly within 3 spaces of the Beerboar. And on a 5+, they will stand up for free. It normally costs 3 MA to stand up unless you have certain skills like jump up. And so it's a nice little extra to have, a nice little trait. We're having bacon tonight. That'll be the turn. So keeping the cage intact here on the Remnants of Valor's own 2-yard line. Turn 3 now for Odin and Nuffle. One-man player advantage for the Remnants of Valor. Two-die block on the number 7 rookie Blitzer. Gets the knockdown here. Continuing to keep this pressure in on the right side, closing in on the cage, forcing this offense to the left wide zone here. Cutting off movement options can be really hurtful to an offense, and it may seem obvious, but again, to bring this back to fighting games, right? If I'm in the middle of the screen, I can jump up, I can duck, I can move forward, I can move backwards, and often there's other things I can do. I can do short hops or dashes or whatever. If I'm in the corner, I've lost my ability to go backwards, right? So I can't jump back, I can't walk back, I can't dash back, and that means that my opponent, generally speaking, always knows where I'm going to be. It's very similar here in Blood Bowl. If you cut off an option, a movement option for an offense, you know where they're going, and so you can defend that, right? If I know you have no choice but to go forward, if I back you into the wide zone and you have no choice but to move forward, then I'm just going to defend what's in front of you, and I'm going to make it real hard for you to break through my defense. Two-die block on Grendel's mom gets the POW here. Has to follow up due to frenzy. Two-die block on the number 10 rookie lineman gets a push out of this. The cage is collapsing. Now a mark on the ball. Odin and Stuffle on the bonus clock. 7 minutes, 9 seconds remaining. You get 7 minutes, 30 seconds for the duration of the game. Blitz has already been spent. Takes a mark on number 5 over in the left wide zone, as well as number 13. Boy, these words. I'm going to call that Frody, and Unpharaoh. Coluse, my goodness. Frizia, the number 5 Valkyrie, moves over in the left wide zone. The words are hard. These Valkyries, stars of the show on this Norse team. You can see MA7. They have they strip ball. They have dauntless. They have catch. They have pass. I don't know why I lost my train of thought there. And then Frizia here has become a blodger at level 3. Turn 4 now for the Remnants of Valor. So after closing in on the right side, a lot of marks taken here. Clivius understands he doesn't have a lot of spaces to go, and now with all these marks, he might lose some players. But this offense can't get away freely and keep this ball safe. Two-die block on Malden, the number 11 Norse lineman. Gets a knockdown, looking for that 8+. No armor break. When you're up against a fragile team, you really hope, you pray to Nuffle, you want every single block to be a removal. I guess you hope for that no matter what. But I don't think you get your hopes up when you're up against an orc team or a dwarf team. One-die block against the number 3 Ulfwerener gets the knockdown here. And now two-die block against Francia, going after the Valkyrie. Gets the knocked. Wait, did he just take the push? Does she have wrestle? She has wrestle, that's why. Yeah. So he took them both down, but she has wrestle. So they'll both go to the ground. There's no armor break, and that's not a turnover. Wrestle treats a both down result if you use the wrestle skill, then you do both go down, but there's no armor break and there's no turnover. Opens up a lane for Wiglaf, the number 3 thrower, to move down pitch, but he's not going to have coverage unless there's a couple of dodges here. Ajax says, foul the morgue! Foul the morgue! Good 3+ dodge by Brecca the Bronding. The number 6 blitzer covering the left side. Still not quite enough. Can he get another 3? Oh, fails to dodge. Needs to spend a reroll. Good dodge. Brecca the Bronding on the left side of the ball carrier currently. A couple more players to activate here. Remnants of Valor here on turn 4, dipping pretty significantly into their bonus clock. They're down to 4 minutes 40 seconds. Again, up against a control coach, and I think they have to play in a little bit of a control fashion. So these turns can certainly eat up or chew up that bonus clock pretty easily. Gets a push against Alt Clud. Alt Clud's gonna activate Fen. Can't follow up. I don't think he. Well, maybe he did want to. Two die block now against Alt Clud. Gets the POW out of this. 8+ will break armor. Turn 4 now for Odin and Nuffle. Final turn of the first quarter coming up. Offense has broken away from the defense. They're over in the right wide zone on the opposing 12-yard line currently. Trying to keep this player safe for a turn. You can see here's where the protection is. Gets an armor breaker over on the left side here against the number 5 blitzer. Results in a stun. Mr. Rocker Crocker demands death. So I'm drawing again, that's right. I'm sorry to whoever's about to die. Speaking of Hot Pockets, has anyone ever put a Hot Pocket like in the oven properly? Has there ever been a Hot Pocket that wasn't put in the microwave? "46 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Clypheus trying to decide how best to go after the thrower. You can see the thrower is already in scoring position. One rush to score. If pressure's not applied, he's almost certainly going to cage up and stall this out for at least a turn. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, how much free time do you have in your life that you're baking a Hot Pocket? I've got 2.5 minutes. That's it. Let's go. I got something else to do. Somewhere to be. Odin Nuffle gonna blitz, stand up blitz here against Hildebur, the number 11 lineman. Gets the pal, follows up, and will start to apply some pressure here. Francia moves down pitch to, or downfield to the fort. I don't know if down pitch is a phrase or not. We don't use pitch in America, so I don't. Downfield to the 14-yard line. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, that said, I do cook my Pop-Tarts, but I know a lot of people eat them raw, but cold Pop-Tarts don't melt the butter well. I haven't had a Pop-Tart in a long time, but I can eat them either way. I would prefer them cooked. Both Valkyries moving down pitch, pulling back into the secondary here. Trying to force this score early. Failed boneheaded roll on the ogre. I don't think that was a failed boneheaded roll. I think that was a calculated boneheaded roll. He opened one eye, looked up at this massive Yeti next to him. He's like, I'm staying on the ground. You're not standing up. Sorry, coach. So the problem with scoring, scoring early, of course, obviously it's great to score. You get a touchdown. But scoring early means that you're giving your opponent ample opportunity to score in the half. You're giving the ball back to your opponent. You give them a full quarter to score. Then they'll be on offense to start the second half of the game, and they can try to win this 2-1. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, just so you know, it only takes 3 seconds to microwave a Pop-Tart. Thanks. Looks like he's going to score. There it is on the rush. 1-0 the score. Remnants of Valor take the lead in this ball game. At this moment in time, the Remnants of Valor have given up no touchdowns in the game. They've scored more than they've given up, and they've given up none. I'm a very busy man. Just so you know, it takes 700 milliseconds to take a blowtorch to a Pop-Tart. Remnants of Valor to set up on defense for the first time in this game. 5 on the line currently for the humans. Morgenthorg, not a secret weapon as you may think. He's got a big hook for a hand. That's legal, folks. He can have that. 7 seconds to cook ramen with a 10,000 watt laser. I think if you're cooking ramen with a 10,000 watt laser, I think you're going to jail. Now 3 on the line for the humans. 2 in either wide zone. You can see all 4 blitzers as linebackers. Both ogres as safeties, oddly enough. I would have figured they'd be linebackers as well, but he's pulled them back into the safety position. Definitely doesn't want them on the line because he wants to try to keep them mobile. Well, I shouldn't say definitely. He could put them on the line, of course, if he wants to try to hold the line. This is like the cooking a chicken by slapping it theme. All right, so the two big guys here in the star player and the ogre Grendel's mom in the safety positions for the defense. 5 on the line for Odin and Nuffle. They're going to set up for the second quarter of this game. They're down a touchdown, 0-1. They have all 3 of their rerolls. You can see their apothecary standing by on the sidelines with his medical tools, his cleaver, and his bucket of hand. Oh boy, if I had a nickel for every time a doctor's had a bucket of hand, I'd have no nickels. Just so we're clear, I've had none. Is this 9 on the line for the offense? 9 on the line for the offense. 1 Valkyrie, Francia as the halfback. Frizia back to be the kickoff receive player. Kickoff return player. Quite handy. Get out of here. Here's the kick. Very shallow kick. And there's an officious ref who does not like Lindisfarne. Lindisfarne knocked or stunned over on the right side of this big line here. Ball kicked to the 2-yard line. Not a touchback. Turn 5 now for Odin and Snuffle. They're going to have to fight for this ball. 2-die block on Frody. Gets a push. 1-die frenzy follow-up. He's got to get the knockdown thanks to block. I hate those dice. I hate those dice. I can't tell if they're dirty or like supposed to be like green metallic. 2-die block over on the right side here. Gets a knockdown. Hildeburg. The AV of 9+, no armor break. Minute to go in turn 5 for Odin and Nuffle. Reposition Alt Clud to take a mark on Onella, the number 14 human lineman in the left wide zone. Here's the blitz. 2-die blitz into the PAL. We'll have to follow up with the Ulfwerner. 9+ is going to break armor. There's the armor break. Gets a stun. Black Wolf rooting for this defense. Wants this human team to stop the score. What are they at? They're at 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is it still 11v11 on the pitch? Wait, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. Sheppy fails the unchanneled Fury roll, so he's going to just hang out. And now a 2-die block against the number 12 lineman gets a push. 2-die block against the number 12 lineman again. This time he's going to get the knockdown thanks to the block skill. No armor break. That is the line taken care of. Francie is going to try to pick up this ball with her sure hands. Doesn't need it. If you roll a nat 6, you don't need skills, baby. Your skill is rolling nat 6. Turn 6 now for the humans. The ball on the Norse 2-yard line, just off the left sideline. Remnants of Valor are almost always going to be wanting to be blitzing with Morgenthorg. The problem, of course, if Morg's the only one doing your blocks, you're not getting SPP on your team. But Mighty Blow +2. If you want to win a game, Mighty Blow +2 is pretty good. With the there's the blitz. Mighty Blow +2 with the block skill. You have MA6. He's just such a good piece. Well, I guess when you roll pushes. Takes the push here in turn 6. I might have spent it. Bringing the Ulfwerner down to an AV7 on turn 6 with 2 rerolls left, but I can't begrudge him for not spending it. I wish every pitch had yard markings. That's the one thing I'd want. I want every pitch to have yard markings. Or I guess according to the API, meters, but that's yards. Come on. I know yards when I see them. Failed dodge, doesn't spend the reroll, and that is a KO'd lineman. Frody off the pitch. 1-man player advantage for Odin and Nuffle. They have 3 turns to get this ball into the Freedom units. That's right. Ball currently on the 2 Freedom unit line of the Norse team. A bald eagle just swoops by. But like a bald eagle that sounds like a falcon. Eagles per pitch, that's right. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the Freedom units that mark a Blood Bowl pitch. Good stun here. 2-die blitz into the PAL. Mr. Rocker Crocker praying to Nuffle. I gotta fix that audio too. Opens up a lane down the left sideline, moves the ball to the opposing 12-yard line. Gets some coverage on the right side by Frisia, the number 5 Valkyrie. Well, your prayers have been answered. Praise Nuffle in all his glory. Did I block over the right wide zone? Gets a POW against the number 11 human lineman. Gets an armor break here. Gets a removal. Well done. 2-man player advantage now for Odin and Nuffle. Turn 7 for Remnants of Valor. 2 turns to stop this score. So the Norse team couldn't quite get behind the defense here with some protection, but they could certainly tag a bunch of players. We'll see what the human team's going to decide to do here. They're going to have to do some praying to Nuffle of their own. So the ball carrier is not the blodger. There's no block on Francia. That means any blitz on the ball carrier with a blitzer would have the advantage of the block skill. What block does in the game is if you see that both down result, block whether you're on the blocker or the target, it allows you to ignore it. So if you get a both down result and you're the blocker and you have the block skill and your opponent doesn't, you can take it. You'll remain standing. Your opponent will get knocked down. There's one mark by the number 7 blitzer now on the ball carrier, also marking the number 5 Valkyrie to the right side of the ball carrier. Double pals against the number 8 Norse lineman. No armor break. The number 8 blitzer freed up. There's the declared blitz. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, he's going a long way. No, he's not going a long way around. One die block, rolls a skull. We'll have to re-roll this. Re-rolls it into the both down. He's going to get the knockdown here. 8 plus to break armor. Where's the ball bounce? Into the hands of the number 7 blitzer. He's not going to spend a reroll on this. Blitzer can't hold on to it. Neither can Frisia. Back to the blitzer. And one space back to the 16-yard line. Nice blitz. Spent the reroll, got the both down. And a favorable, I would call this a favorable bounce. Gets one more player to mark the ball. 2 players marking the ball now. Going into turn 8, turn 7 now for Odin and Nuffle. The job of a defense is to stop a score, even if you can't recover and score yourself. The offense, they scored their touchdown. They did their job. If the defense can stop this touchdown, they'll have done their job as well. Minute 20 on the clock here for Odin and Nuffle, trying to find a way to recover this ball and score. They would love this to be a tie ball game at the end of the half. Otherwise, they have to. They have a lot of thinking to do. Clyfius will have to think at the beginning of the half. If it's a 0-1 ball game, are they playing for the draw or are they going to go for the win? If they go for the win, they're going to be really aggressive on that first drive. If they're going for a draw, they'll play it a little more standardly. Is that a word? Standardified. 35 seconds left on the clock. 4 minutes, 53 seconds on the bonus clock for Odin Snuffle. A lot of time on the bonus clock already spent by both coaches here in this first half. Failed 3+ dodge, spends a team reroll. That is a null turn for the Norse team. Turn 8 for the Remnants of Valor. All they have to do is keep this ball out of the hands of the Norse team. I don't think anyone's a threat other than Frisia, right? So that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think Frisia is the only real threat here by the Norse team. So Frisia almost certainly going to be the blitz target. Minute 15 to go here in turn 8 for the Remnants of Valor. They have the lead after the null turn by the Norse team. They thanked Nuffle. 1 die block against Iona by Morgenthor. Gets the knockdown here. 7+ breaks armor. This is goblin territory. No armor break. Two marks now on the I'm sorry, 3 marks on the Valkyrie. So currently it's a 2 die block, and there it is. Takes the block, gets the knockdown on Frisia. That's going to be the end of the scoring threat from the Norse team. He's probably counting out spaces right now. Wait, did he take the push? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Surprised he didn't take the knockdown there. Oh, she does. She's the blodger. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Thank you. Three plus pickup. Might just move this ball. Oh boy, what do you do with the ball? Didn't declare the handoff, so the ball's going to stay right next to that ogre. I think that's fine. 2 die block against number 11 back at the line of scrimmage gets a pal. Grendel's mom on the block, so 7+ breaks armor here. There's the armor break. Here's the removal. Well done. Permanent removal from the game, down to a 1-man player advantage for the Norse team. The Norse team has 2 removals by KO, so those players could come back onto the pitch. You can't come back onto the pitch with a smashed knee, I'm afraid. Bonus clock being spent here by the Remnants of Valor. We're down to 2 minutes, 18 seconds on the bonus clock. 3+ dodge to take a mark on Frisia. Turn 8 now for Odin and Snuffle. I just realized that these colors don't change. The colors of the turn marker here stay the original team colors. Black Wolf asks, has there ever been a Warhammer 40k version of Blood Bowl? I'm going to say, so the answer is no. But I will say in first edition, there was a white dwarf, what I call it, an expansion, like an insert. There was a white dwarf rule set for judges from the from the Judge Dredd universe. Black Wolf says, "Well, I have no idea. As soon as you started answering, I got ads. Let me know when the ads." You can't hear me. I'll say it again in a minute. A minute to go in the first half of this game. Odin and Snuffle trying to find a way to score. They can technically do it. That was a very... Yeah, I definitely don't want to repeat it. I mean, it was a lot of words. 50-50 pickup on the failed dodge. Gonna try to pass the ball. Didn't work out. That'll be the end of the half. Remnants of Valor are in the lead going into the second half of this game. So Black Wolf, the answer is no. There was not a 40K version. However, in first edition of Blood Bowl, which, let's be clear, first edition Blood Bowl is not this game that we played today. First edition Blood Bowl was basically just Warhammer. Yeah, all right, I'll say it one more time. Sorry, I thought the ads were already over. So Black Wolf, no, the answer is no, there's not a 40K version of Blood Bowl. However, in first edition, there was an issue of White Dwarf that allowed you to add judges from the 20,000 or the Judge Dredd universe into Blood Bowl. That was pretty cool. That's not 40K, but that gets a little closer. First edition Blood Bowl also was not it's not this Blood Bowl. The Blood Bowl we play today didn't really exist until third edition. First edition was basically just Warhammer on a field. So it's fun to go through just to play those games once in your life, because like you play first edition and you're like, okay, now I see why in second edition they added rushing, right? Oh, now I see why tackle zones work the way they were. Oh, now I understand why, because there are a lot of things that didn't work. And then even in second edition, there were things that didn't. So like a big problem with first edition is that because there's no rushing, there's no going for it, faster pieces will just always be faster. You can never catch them. So you either need to stay in front of them and ensure you're always in front of them, or they're going to run away and you will never catch them again. So that's why rushing was added. All right, here's the quick snap for the offense to reset 6 players who are not marked. Unfortunately, there are only 2 that aren't marked. There's 9 on the line for the offense. Ball kicked to the 20-yard line, bounces to the 22 inside the right wide zone. Here we go. 3 on the line for the humans, going with a bit of a box formation with that thrower way back in the secondary. 2-die block on the left defensive end. Breaks armor. Gets a KO. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One-man player advantage for the Norse team. They're going to get another knockdown. Another armor break on the right defensive end. Gets a stun this time. And that's how I saved Christmas. And that's how I was awarded the Medal of Honor. Now a 3-die block with the Yeti against the number 12 lineman. Gets a knockdown, no armor break. I'm ashamed to admit I was playing the Horizon Zero Dawn VR game. I think it's called Call of the Mountain. It's a climbing game. and my arms got sore playing the game. It's because I realized, like, I basically did like 2 straight hours of like arm circles. You know what I mean? Like, my arms were constantly out, almost in like a T pose for 2 hours. I was having a lot of fun though. Man, when I used to rock climb, and at the climbing gym, they have something called a hangboard, and I was on the hangboard once, and I was not prepped for it, and boy, I tore my shoulders, and they were screwed up for months. It was awful. I couldn't lift my arms above my head. It was terrible. Black Wolf says, I was watching a streamer trying to VR fight night, and he had to lay down after the first round. Warmaster says, can you fall? You can fall. Yes. Yes, you can. And the game won't let you fall all the way to the ground, but that's mostly because of nausea-related things. But it'll let you fall, like, probably, I would say 15 feet before it sort of fades out. There's also like zip lines. So like I'll go on a zip line, and like when I jump off the end, I'll find myself sort of like almost lunging forward because it feels like I'm moving forward. Ajax the Riot says, I need to set my VR back up. I haven't set it up ever since I moved into this house. Yeah, like I said, with the original PSVR, I noped out. I played Resident Evil 7, which was great. It was absolutely terrifying in VR, but it was great. But there's been a lot of innovations since then, both in technology and in game design. Like these games that I'm playing now on the PSVR 2, there's a lot of game design that's gone into it. I'm not getting nauseous anymore, which I very much appreciate. Two-die block on the number 8 lineman over in the left wide zone. Gets a both standing result or a push out of this. Gonna decide to take the push. Warmaster says, is like when you dream falling off a building. It is kind of like that. Yeah, it really is. Like, it's hard to describe, but yeah, your brain, your eyeballs are convinced you're falling, but you're going nowhere, obviously. Like, when I played Resident Evil 7, I would like try to psych myself up before the game. I'm like, listen, it's not real. You know it's not a real place. But I'm telling you, man, when you're in that mansion, your eyes are telling you're in that mansion. I guess it's more of a farmhouse, really. But uphill block over in the right wide zone here. Gets a push out of this. So a friend of mine, a colleague, told me to play Resident Evil 8. I was like, oh, God. All right, I'll give it a shot. I love horror movies. I love horror games, but boy, Resident Evil 7 was so scary. Turn 10 for Odin and Snuffle. Still hanging on to the ball back at their own 14-yard line. Keeping this offense spread very wide here. We talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the game here. Forcing the defense to spread wide as well. I'll bet a Bigfoot hunting game in VR would scare you. I mean, I would not take that bet. I think you might be right. There's a point in the Verizon game. Did I say Verizon? In the Horizon game, where I don't know if you've never played Horizon Zero Dawn. I won't spoil it for you, but basically it's post-apocalyptic Earth, and there's like animals as robots. Anyway, there's these giant giraffes, very, very like super giant giraffes called tall necks, and one of them in the first sort of level, the first scene, like walks over you, and like as you see, they're very slow moving. Moob says, "I love discovering the lore in Horizon Zero Dawn." Yeah, me too. I think it's a great story. I'm like, I never finished the second one. I'm like halfway through it, but I'll go back to it at some point. But anyway, you could see it sort of slowly walk toward you, and I was telling myself, I'm like, okay, it's just graphics. It's just graphics. I don't need to move. But like once it walked over me, I like couldn't help but duck. Black Wolf says, I'm happy for people that love scary movies. They are not for me. My fight or flight response is too strong, and scary movies just make me irrationally angry. I get it. I get it. Ajax the Rise says, I can't stand scary movies. I try to watch them with my wife, but I look away for a lot of it. I like horror movies a lot. Yeah, there's something. I mean, if you've played in VR before, you understand what I'm saying. But like, there's just something about being in that like fictional that world, like, and I'm in the house, and that crazy girl is chasing me down, and she has an axe 3 inches from my eyeball. Oh man. Frenzy follow-up here. 2-die Frenzy follow-up. It's going to get a push out of this against Grendel's mom. 2 pushes on the Blitz. So trying to open up a hole here down center pitch. Three minutes, 10 seconds left on the bonus clock for Odin and Nuffle. They're going to cross the line of scrimmage over to the right side. They're now on the opposing 2-yard line. Turn 10 for the Remnants of Valor. Mushrooms were my cheap VR set when I was a kid. Remnants of Valor are going to start the turn off with a 2-die block against Iona, the rookie Ulf winner. They're going to get a POW out of this. Looking for a 7+. Breaks armor with Morgenthorg. Waiting for the shadowing result. Breaks armor, gets the removal. Very well done. The power of Morgenthorg. Mighty Blow +2 with a strength of 6 and the block skill. It's ridiculous. It's so good. So good. So I think that's 10v9 on the pitch. 1-man player advantage for the humans. Thrower's going to reposition as the safety. Here comes the blitz. 1-die blitz on the ball carrier. Got the POW. Well done. An 8+ will break armor. Needed a POW. That was the only and broke armor. Got the removal as well against the Blodger ball carrier. The POW was the only thing that would knock the ball carrier down. Got it on the 1-die and got the removal on the armor break. Blodge is a fake skill. One of those 2 very important Valkyries now removed from the pitch. Clypheus, obviously a great coach, former league champion. S. Beaver, a great coach as well. This is SBR's first go with humans, and doing a pretty good job here, I think. Putting skills learned with other factions to use here with the humans. Turn 11 now for Odin and Nuffle. All this action on ESPN 8, the Ocho. You know what? Maybe I'll just go full childish, and after this, I'll just have celery with peanut butter. I think that's actually what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to eat. One die block against the number 5. Blitzer gets a push here. And, like, make no mistake, I'm not like, I'll eat 17 hamburgers. But, you know, it's late at night. I don't want to cook anything. I think it's going to be celery with peanut butter. SpaghettiOs sounds great. I don't have any SpaghettiOs, so that sounds great. Two-die blitz here on Brecca the Bronding. Gets a push into a two-die frenzy follow-up. Gets the knockdown here, looking for the 9+. Has to follow up here as well. Breaks armor. Good armor break. Got the removal. One of the blitzers off the pitch. "20 seconds left in the turn. Hard fought drive so far here in the second half. Moob says, it's pizza rolls for me when I'm hungry and being very lazy. I would love pizza rolls, but I don't have any. Another armor break. This time against the ogre. Gets a stun out of it. Remember, that Yeti has claws, so that normally it's a 10+ on the ogre for the armor break. But with claws, that makes it an 8+. Tizzle Bizzle, welcome to the stream. Demanding death. I hope you get it. I hope you get it. 2 minutes, 50 seconds left on the clock for Odin and Nuffle. They're behind by a touchdown. The ball on the ground currently on the human 2-yard line. Odin and Nuffle, the Norse team. Odin and Nuffle in blue. Remnants of Valor, the humans, in red. War Master says this game is getting brutal. It is indeed. Failed dodge by Francia, the one remaining Valkyrie. Had the dodge skill, rolled Snake Eyes. That'll be a turnover. Turn 11 now for Remnants of Valor. When you roll a die, you can, if you have some sort of reroll, whether it's a free reroll or a team reroll, you can reroll the die pool once. So what happened here was Francia has the dodge skill. Dodge gives you a free reroll on a failed dodge. 3+, failed. Got the free reroll, failed again, and that's it. You can't spend a team reroll. You've already re-rolled your die pool, you're done. And that results in a turnover. Ajax the Riot says, honestly, not enough blood. Corn coaches must not be sharing. I'm excited for Corn. I'm glad it's added. The last time we had Corn in Cyanide Blood Bowl was Blood Bowl 1. It was the last team added to Blood Bowl 1. Fun fact with Blood Bowl 1, there was an expansion that added Dungeon Bowl. I still have it installed, and it was great. It was super cool. Two-die block on the Slav town of Rerik. Gets a both standing result out of this. I would love to see them do Dungeon Bowl again. That would be great. Cyanide's been doing Blood Bowl for a long time. Not just Blood Bowl. They obviously they did Blood Bowl 1, 2, and 3. They did. I don't know if they did it. Someone did a DS version as double skulls after the re-roll. That's and got stunned. Oh, spent the team reroll, rolled into double skulls, and stunned himself. That is another human blitzer who's out for at least a turn. Turn 12 now for Odin and Snuffle. Black Wolf says, what's the difference between Blood Bowl and Dungeon Bowl? So they're basically the same. Like, the basics are the same. But in Dungeon Bowl, you play to 1 touchdown. The first to score wins. The ball is, you play in a dungeon. The ball is not actually on the floor anywhere yet. It's hidden in a treasure chest. And you have to find it. You start with, is it half your team? I think half your team at your quote-unquote end zone. And the opponent does the same. And you have to find the ball in one of the treasure chests. If you find the ball, you get to hold on to it. If not, the treasure chest blows up. There's traps everywhere. The geometry is different, right? So you have narrow corridors and then big open rooms. There's, like I said, there's traps. You can bounce the ball off the wall. There are teleporters. So your other players come in at a random teleporter. So you don't start on your side, quote unquote, of the dungeon. Your guys are going to come in and all over the place. And different rooms have different rules. So like, if you're in the armory, you can pick up a sword. It's mayhem. It's awesome. Two-die blitz over in the right wide zone gets the knockdown. Warmaster says, I play the old Blood Bowls on Steam. I'm a little hesitant to play against you guys. Oh, don't be hesitant. You can. We got a great league with lots of friendly players. We have great coaches, but we also have new players, and everyone's willing to help each other out. But you know, no pressure, of course. Black Wolf says, oh, I get it. So Dungeon Bowl is full of a lot of bullshit. I mean, sure. I would call it fun. One die block over in the left wide zone. Francia recovers the ball over in the right wide zone. Gets the removal on the left side of the pitch. Humans starting to lose players. Here's another pow. Another armor break. Gets a stun. Warmaster says, I'll see you about this fall. Yeah, no sweat. We'd love to have you. 2-die uphill against Morgan Thorpe. It's going to be a both standing result. It's not the end of the drive. There's also other versions of Blood Bowl. You may have heard of sevens. That's Blood Bowl on a smaller pitch with 7 per side instead of 11. But is otherwise generally the same. There's Gutter Ball that has like kind of stands or like buildings in the middle. It's also on a smaller pitch. There's what else is there? There's Death Bowl. That's like kind of unofficial, but it's awesome. You play 4 teams, and it's basically 2 pitches perpendicular to each other with 2 balls. It's awesome. Knocked out by Morgan Thorpe, but no armor break. Yeah, so Cyanide's been doing Blood Bowl for a while. Not only do they do Blood Bowls 1, 2, and 3, I mean, they've also done them on consoles. There was a DS version. I think they even did that one. But they also did a game. I can't remember what it was called. But they did a Blood Bowl-like game before they got the Blood Bowl license. And it was like pseudo real-time, if I remember correctly. I don't remember what the name of the game was. Grendel's mom, Boneheads. Unfortunately, 1-die blitz on the ball carrier, rolls into a skull, has to re-roll this double skulls. Nuffle Y. Healthstein's gonna get knocked to the ground. That's gonna be a turnover. Turn 13 for Odin and Nuffle. 4th and final quarter begins. Odin and Nuffle is in possession of the ball on the opposing 2-yard line. They're down by a touchdown. There they go. The Valkyrie moves down to the 16. Warmaster says, I play 7s. It would be cool if Cyanide made a 7s game. That would be cool. I agree. Black Wolf says, Yeah, I read about it that they did that game and got sued by Games Workshop, and part of the deal was they would make BB for less money. I don't. I could believe they got sued. I can't believe that they would make Blood Bowl for less money though. Can't remember what this game, Chaos Ball or something, or is that just the Eric Lang board game? I don't remember what it was called. Cyanide also made a real-time Blood Bowl game. I think it was the Blood Bowl 2 engine. It was called, I think they called it Death Zone. And it was like 3-on-3 real-time Blood Bowl. It, for what it wasn't bad at all. It just wasn't Blood Bowl. So they made a mobile game called Crunch. So Crunch was sort of an introductory version of Blood Bowl that came... Blitz Bowl, that's what it was. It was Blitz Bowl. But Crunch was an introductory Blood Bowl board game back in the 80s, maybe 90s. And they made a mobile version of Blood Bowl called Crunch that was basically just not tower defense. What's that, like Plants vs. Zombies type genre? It was something like that. 2-die block by Sheppy gets a pal here, looking for an 8+ to break armor. No armor break. Back on the bonus clock with 90 seconds to go. Turn 13 for the Remnants of Valor. The defense has done a superlative job up till now. They just couldn't fend off this bashy Norse team long enough. They now have a quarter to go to try to stop the score. The ball very well defended currently by the Norsemen. Clypheus, again, a very, very good control coach. I think paying Morg's salary, 380,000 gold, I'd have him blitzing every single turn. Like I want him to put. If I'm paying you 380,000 per game, you're putting in some work, sir. There's the blitz by Morgenthorpe. Only gets a push out of it. It's a shame he doesn't have a halfling on his roster. He could go for the one turn. Halflings were added to the BB 2020 rule set for humans. They didn't always have a halfling. No pigs were harmed in the playing of this game. It's a little disappointing. I think actually one pig was harmed. In fact, one pig was harmed in the playing of this game. Blackwell says, yeah, I just Googled it. Part of the settlement out of court was that Cyanide would make an official Blood Bowl game. Doesn't say anything about the money, though. Yeah, that makes sense. Turn 14 for Odin and Snuffle. They could score if they want to, but I think they're going to try to stall this out for a turn. We're going to start with the Frenzy Blitz. Going to have to re-roll this. Gets the knockdown. Must follow up. Good surf on the number 5 blitzer. Very well done by Clypheus. Again, I think the blitzers are the most important part of a human team. So getting rid of those is very important. All depends on the matchup, though, and the play style. Sometimes the catchers are who you're going after, but there's no catchers on this roster. Two-die block on the number 3 thrower. Gets a push. Double pals on the thrower this time. Rathun, the level 3 lineman on the block. Can he get the 9+ he's looking for? He cannot. Not a whole lot. Oh, he is going to score. All right. He scores and ties the ball game. 1-1 ball game now. Odin and Nuffle gets on the board. Just didn't think he could keep it safe for a turn. And that's going to give a couple of turns to the human team to try to win this game. It's going to be difficult without the catchers, but can they pull it off? $11 back on the pitch here for the Norsemen. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, Nuffle! Three-man player advantage going to the Norseman as 4 KOs remain in the KO box. So each one of these is a 4+ to come back on the pitch at the beginning of every drive. You roll a d6 for every KO'd player or for each KO'd player, I should say. For a 4+, or on a 4+, they will no longer be knocked out. Otherwise, they remain knocked out until the next drive, at the beginning of the next drive, in which they'll have to roll again. So 3 players down for the humans. SP Beaver has a decision to make. Go for the win or try to secure this ball for the draw. Oh, that's rough. One of the blitzers out as well. Those are the only, this is a fresh human team, so the blitzers are the only ones with the block skill. Which makes rolling dice with the ogre even more treacherous. Oh, and now the decision made even harder. With the timeout, we've got one more turn added. Turn 13 again for the Remnants of Valor. So they have plenty of time. But do they have enough players? Morg in the center position. Grendel's mom, the left guard, tries to pick the ball up to start with. Ooh, scary stuff. Picks that ball up. Failed the first pickup roll, but rolled a nat 6 on the re-roll with sure hands. Gonna try to cage up here, but needs to be careful of a tight cage. A tight cage means that we're gonna see the defense do exactly what they did in the first half. And they're just going to start to apply pressure on the cage. Second guessing positioning here is going to pull in and set up a tight cage around the ball carrier. So it's, boy, they're going to have to fight for 4 turns. Here we go. 3-die block on the line by Morgenthorg. Gets the knockdown on Sheppy. 7+ breaks armor, but that's a 4. The teleprompter of death. That's right. But for who? That's the only block taken turn. 14 for Odin. It's Nuffle. I think this is the cage of impenetrable defense. Right here. Dude, I block on the number 12 lineman. He's the right tackle. He's going to get knocked down. His armor is going to be broken, and he's going to be stunned. Here comes that pressure. A mark on the right side of the cage now. That's all right. Everybody on this cage Their special ability is that anybody that tries to block them rolls skulls. That's what Clypeus is unaware of. Peanut butter celery, it's delicious, can't you see? Here's the blitz on the front right corner of the cage. 2-die blitz coming up. Double pals. Did I say skulls? I meant pals. And there's a mark on the ball. The number 2 Wolfwader marking the thrower, Wiglaf. Hey girl, let me make some peanut butter and celery for. I am losing my mind. I'm so hungry. 90 seconds on the bonus clock here. Failed the unchanneled Fury roll on the 50-50, so that that Yeti's just going to stay in place. Rolled a skull against Grendel's mom. Re-rolls this into a knockdown. Black Wolf says, no, by all means. Don't let Blood Bowl stop you. A little over a minute left on the bonus clock for Odin and Snuffle. They have 3 turns. Would have been 2, but after the timeout, they have 3 turns to try to score. There's that pressure that we talked about there with that tight cage. They're going to go in on this cage and try to get this ball. I wonder if he'll punt. Turn 14 now for the Remnants of Valor. I think he is punting. Who's his target? Wait, is he throwing to Mork? Good luck. Tried to throw to Mork. Oh, rolled the 6 on the wrong die roll, wrote it on the loner roll. The ball's gonna bounce into the opposing 2-yard line. Turn 15 now for Odin and Nuffle. Morg's like, you want me to catch the ball? I have a giant blade on one hand, man. Come on, you gotta give me a warning first. Morg with Edge 3 plus 2 marks. That makes that a 6 that he needs to roll to catch it. Frenzy follow up into a POW against the number 5 rookie Blitzer. Oh, that must be metal. The dice, that is. Here comes the beer bore for the assist. Three assists on the behind Grendel's mom. A POW by Rathun here. Needs a 10 plus to break armor. Two-die blitz down pitch against Morgan. Oh. Oh. The Yeti. The Yeti with the claws. That was an 8 plus to break armor. Knocks out the mighty Morgan Thorg. 45 seconds left on the bonus clock for Odin and Nuffle. Man. What are we down to? What are we down to? We're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 humans. So a 5-man player advantage. Good recovery by the number 12 lineman by Odin and Nuffle. They're on the opposing 8-yard line now in the left wide zone. Boy, the humans need a miracle at this point. More Master says this season's going to be bloody. Yes, indeed. Turn 15 for Remnants of Valor. Have they been praying to Nuffle? It seems like not. Everybody on the wrong side of the ball right now. Ogre's going to stand up. Ogre is on the 4-yard line. Repositions. Really? Hrolfur Cracky, number 12 human lineman. There's no way to get this ball except to take risks. But is the question is the risk coming? Is the risk coming toward the ball, or is the risk coming this way? Oh, the suspense. He stood up, but that's it. The suspense. Just that little beat before falling flat on his face. He's gonna risk the handoff. My goodness. Hands off in turn 16. Odin and Nuffle takes the lead in this ball game for the first time. Well done in turn 16. Wow. One turn to go. Unless, of course, there's another timeout. Oh, man. Morg's had enough. Morgan Thorpe's gonna remain KO'd. Just one turn. They're not going to be able to score unless, of course, there is a timeout. That's the only shot that the Remnants of Valor have. So 11 on the pitch for the Norse. And it'll be 8 once again for the humans. So 3-man player advantage for the Norsemen. If there's not a timeout, that will be the end of this game. It'll be about SPP at that point. Well, SPP and injuries. Five on the line right now for the Norsemen. Imagine they're going to go with 3. Three offset on the line. All right, 8 to set up for the humans. 2 blitzers. They have their ogre. They have their thrower. Set somebody in the end zone. Set somebody in the end zone. Pray for that timeout. Let's go. Or not the end zone, in the wide zone. 3 on the line currently for the humans. They're probably going to set just 3 on the line as well. Well, no, they'll set more. Remnants of Valor putting 4 on the line now. They have 4 players in, now 5 on the line. 3 in the backfield. 6 on the line. 2 back to receive. Play for the win, or play for the draw. What's so nobody set up here. So if he gets a timeout, it's going to be a little tricky. In all honesty, he's... Well, no, if it's a timeout, he only has 1 turn left. Solid defense, not going to matter. Ball's kicked to the 8-yard line. He'll get 3 blocks on the line. Try to pass for some SPP, perhaps, and then maybe even a GG foul. We'll see. Odin, it's Nuffle, was behind for most of this game. They were able to score late in the second half to tie this ball game, and after the timeout, so I really think that tight offensive formation really bit the human team, right? They pulled in their players into a tight cage, and Clivey said, all right, I'm a-coming. Was able to knock that ball free, recover it, and score again late in the second half to win this ball game 2-1. Two-die block on the center, gets a push. Took it with the Ogre. Has no rerolls left, so it doesn't really matter. Two-die block on the right defensive end. Gets a pal. Looking for SPP at this point. Does he get it? He does not. No SPP for a KO. Two-die block on the left defensive end. Coming up. Well, he actually might take the blitz. Oh, he doesn't. He took that block with his blitzer, so he didn't have anybody with block left, does he? Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Boy, what happened to the third? Oh, the other. I was like, where's the third blitzer? He's right here. .53 seconds left in the ball game. The Remnants of Valor fought hard, but they're going to end up on the losing side here in week number 1. Passing for some SPP. Got a point of SPP on the blitzer. Well done. Two-die block on the number 9 lineman, the left defensive end. Got a pal here. Can he get the 8+? He can, but doesn't get anything out of it. That'll be the ball game unless... Oh, wait. He still has a blitz. Yeah. He still has a blitz. Here we go. Two-die blitz. Gets a push. Great. All right. Nothing left to do unless he's got a GG foul. We'll see. Right now, what does he have? He has 1 assist. 1 assist on number 9. .70 seconds on the bonus clock here for Remnants of Valor. They're going to move the passer up down to hand off to just show off Hildeberg now with the ball. Looks like he's going to go for the foul. 2 assists right now on the foul. Here it is. GG foul. Got nothing out of it. Didn't get called off. That'll be the game. 2-1 the final here. Odin Nuffle wins this one in week number 1. Very well done. Well played by both coaches. With that victory, Odin Nuffle moves into 2nd place here in Division B. If you're unfamiliar with our league our competition format, I should say, the way teams are ranked is first by league points. You can see there for a win, you get 3 points. For a draw, you get 1 point. If you are tied after that, then it goes to who beat whom. If whoever you're tied with, if you beat them, you rank higher than them. If it's still tied, meaning that you haven't played them or you drew with them, it goes to your touchdown differential. That is the number of touchdowns you've scored. That's the F column there. Minus the number of touchdowns you've given up. That's the A column. That's so you can see for the Discomancers there, it's a +2. If that is still tied, the final tiebreaker is how many touchdowns you've scored. For the Discomancers, you can see they've scored 3, and there are no tiebreaker after that unless one is needed, meaning that if we need a tiebreaker after that for a cut to top 8 or something, then there's a playoff game. So that's how the bracket, or that's how our divisions are ranked. We'll take a look at the schedule before we leave for the evening. Oh, thanks for the kind words, Move and War Master. Great to have you here. All right, coming up next, this Thursday, June 12th at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, that's UTC -4, we're going to have the NC Snakes versus the Fist Noel. I don't know what that is. Let's see, the NC Snakes versus the Fist Noel. That's going to be Dark Elves versus Dwarves. That's Moob versus Coast Modernism. And then immediately following that at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we have the Goner Gets versus the Pipstars. That's Cobblestorm versus Dead Fred. And that's going to be Goblins versus Lizardmen. On Saturday, June 14th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we have Philosopher's Song versus the Purple People Eaters. That's Spire versus Sano. And that's Lizardmen versus Chaos. Chaos Chosen, that is. That'll be a fun one. One game left to be scheduled. Black Wolf says, wait, who won? The Norse team won. Odin and Nuffle won that game. One game left to be scheduled here in week number 1. There's 9 weeks of regulation before the cut to top 8, so plenty more Blood Bowl in this competition. And when that game gets scheduled, you'll be able to check out and get alerted to that schedule on our website at maml.club. That's MAML.CLUB. Here on Twitch or on our social media pages on Blue Sky, X, and Facebook. You can also watch previous games on our YouTube channel. Play Blood Bowl, man. This game is a ton of fun. You can play Blood Bowl via Blood Bowl 3 on Steam, the Epic Game Store, PlayStation, and Xbox, and in tabletop form at your friendly local game store until this Thursday, June 12th at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Take care, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for playing. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you here this Thursday, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening.